everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. For everyone else, welcome back. It is June, which means it's time to look back at what I read in May and whether I would recommend it and which kind of readers I would recommend it to. Um, I really have enjoyed my reading month in May. I have read 14 books, and so we're going to try to rapid fire this as much as possible. The first book I read for the month of May, I actually read twice in May, and that is And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. This one, I loved it. I originally gave it 4 stars, and I think I'm going to bump that up to 4.5 stars. I just had such a great time with this one. In this one, we have our characters Delilah and Jackson, and they are meteorologists who are snowbound reporting on a winter storm coming through. So this one, romance, and those who like the tropes of one bed and enemies to lovers that isn't really enemies to lovers, and the single dad figure, I think would really enjoy this one. B.K. Borison did a great job writing the characters. This one is a dual point of view, which was a lot of fun. Up next during May, I read Bright Red Fruit by Sophia Alijo. This one was such a sweet novel told in verse. We have a teenager who is trying to become more independent, but not necessarily going about it in the right ways. But she does have a dream to become a poet, and so it's really neat that the book is written in this format, in verse. So this one I would recommend if you enjoy books in verse, if you enjoy young adult coming of age stories, if you enjoy the having the twists of life that many of us face in high school. There was just such a good read. As I said, I gave it 4 stars, and I would highly recommend this one. Up next, I read The Fiancé Dilemma by Elena Ermas. This one is a small town romance, lots of fun, some fake dating, and you even have some light politics thrown in, along with the found family trope that's kind of woven in throughout it. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I think if you enjoy those fake dating or fake engagement type stories, that you'll really enjoy this one. Then we come to my first 5-star read of the month, and that is The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. This is a gothic story that takes the idea of divine divine destiny and personal agency and blends it together wonderfully. If you enjoyed any of Erin A. Craig's books, like Sultan, The House of Salt and Sorrow, or House of Roots and Ruin, and I'm sure that there are more that I am not thinking of right now, but so much depth in this story. It does have those dark gothic vibes, so if you like those, this is a great one to pick up. It is YA, and there is um some kissing in it, but I don't believe that there was any language. My next 5-star read was The 13th Husband. This one was by Greer McAllister. This is a historical fiction, and it is amazing to see the women that have gone through history and hearing their stories. This one tells the story of a woman who gets a prophecy that she will have 13 husbands and the 13th one will bury her. And it was so fun to watch her life in beginning in the 1920s, and just how she um, really just explored and shucked tradition and uh, the social norms to explore life and enjoy it to the fullest. I gave this one 5 stars, and I highly recommend it to those who like historical fiction, a little bit of magical realism, and who like to read about women, strong women who uh, come across adversity and come out on top. All right, then we come to the Banned Books Club by Brenda Novak. This one, the title is a little misleading. It is not so much about a banned books club, but about a young lady who in her high school years accused a teacher of sexual wrongdoing, and how she has to come back to this small town as an adult to help take care of her mom. There are a lot of family secrets in this one, a lot of overcoming adversity and trying to figure out how to move forward in life. If you like books that are contemporary, have a sprinkle of romance in them, um, maybe even a little star-crossed lovers, um, you might enjoy this one. I gave this one 4 stars only because the title led me to believe that this was going to be about the Banned Books Club and not about our main characters overcoming hardships. But it was well written. Up next, I read Until the Clock Strikes Midnight by Alicia Dow. This one I gave 3 stars. It is a YA romance, which I have found just aren't hitting the spot for me anymore. But overall, it was well written. We have a enemies to lovers situation, Cinderella retelling, and only one bed, but there is no sex in this one. There are a few kisses, but that is as far as it goes. And with it being YA, that is where it should stay. This next book I DNF'd, and that is The Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I really had high hopes for this one because I enjoyed the Illuminae files and I enjoyed the Aurora cycle so very, very much. And this one just, I could not stay at a point where I wanted to pick the book up. As I was listening to it, it was fine. It kept me engaged, but once I closed the book, I had no desire to stop doing chores, or I would find things for me to do that kept me from opening the book because I just overall was not enjoying this one as much. But if you wanted more from Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice, this one might be one for you. Each of the books in this series are 714 pages. There are 3 of them: Empire of the Vampire, Empire of the Damned, and Empire of the Dawn. So, if you enjoy long tomes of hearing a character's story, but frequent interruptions in the interview style, then you might enjoy this one. But it was not for me. Up next, I read The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. I gave this one 5 stars. I really enjoyed the fake dating going on in it, along with the magical system that we find in this story. It has a great romance plot, but you don't exactly expect it based on where the characters begin, because our main female character decides to try to date the King of Shadows to kill him. This one was a lot of fun. It is a YA romance. There is kissing in this one, and there might be some behind closed doors in this as well. But I will say that the characters in this one are older, so I personally classify this one more as new adult than young adult. After I finished The Shadows Between Us, I immediately picked up the sequel, The Darkness Within Us, in which we again are following adult characters. In this case, it is the main female character's sister in the second book, and we are dealing with situations of marriage and how people would, or how women, especially in this time, would have to be a widow to be held or given any freedom where she is not under the rule of her male counterparts, whether it's her father or her husband. And that is exactly what our female character does in this one. This one I gave 5 stars, but again, I would give the caveat that this is new adult, not young adult like it is classified. Up next, I read Just Once by Karen Kingsbury. This one is a Christian historical fantasy. I enjoyed this one. I gave it 5 stars. It completely broke my heart though. So do make sure that you know, if you are reading this one, that it does deal with Alzheimer's and how the effects of that on the family being left. But the main part of the story is about our Alzheimer's patient as she is living through World War II and doing things that her family did not know she had done. This one was very, very interesting. I totally ate it up. And I think if you enjoy stories that weave God in throughout the whole book, have very strong Christian main characters, then this book might very well be for you. Another 5-star read for me was Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter. This one, especially after reading Just Once, I needed something light and fun, and Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter fit that bill exactly. In this one, we have Agnes, and she runs a cat shelter. But when she rents a new building, she comes to find out that her landlord is a magician, and we get to see the things that happen because of her magician landlord. This one was so cute, so fun. I gave it 5 stars, and I would highly recommend it to those who loved Howl's Moving Castle. There are so many Howl's Moving Castle um, vibes in this one, and I loved it. All right, so you know what they say, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I was trying to be proactive and record my wrap up before May had ended so that I would be one step closer to having this video up to you guys. But doing that, I assumed that I would finish, and now back to you, on the day of recording, and then have a couple days left to start another book. Well, I picked a book after much debating, and then found out that another team had escaped. I do not know what that team is at the moment, but once the other team escaped and I knew that we were trapped forever with the aliens, it's all good. Then I kind of gave up on reading. I didn't read anything at all on Sunday other than my Bible. I did no fun time reading. So we are ending the month with 13 books read. And let's see what my stats were. So I read 13 books, one of them twice, and that includes to the 13. So I got 13 books read, 4,900 pages, and overall, just a really, really great reading month. So their genres overlap on Storygraph, but according to Storygraph, I read 5 romance, 5 fantasy, 5 young adult, 3 contemporary, and 2 historical. Like I said, those overlap. So like the 13th Husband was historic and fantasy. The Shadows Between Us, The Darkness Within Us were fantasy and YA and romance. So, kind of hit all 3. So those aren't really the greatest to go by. But overall, let's see if I can, I had 6 5-star and 1 3-star. Everything else was between 4 and 4 and 5 stars. Just a great reading month overall. I had a blast. I am so glad that one team escaped the aliens, even though it was not the botanists. And I had a great month reading, and I am looking forward to this month being just as good. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.